The 11th of February hit me like a spitfire to a wall. I came crumbling down. The guy I had spent almost 2 years falling in love with sent me a Facebook message to announce that he was breaking up with me. Did he really think it would hurt less if I didn't hear the words come from his lips? I realised that day, even if you put your heart and soul into a relationship, it doesn't leave shore. You have to die before you can float, and I wasn't willing to die, so I wrote. I wrote diary entries about how beautiful the moon looked, and I didn't tell him, but I wrote about how I thought the moon would look a little brighter if he was there, and how without his hairy chest, my bed looks a little bare. So I continued to stare at my hair dye running in the shower, wishing that the red water was coming from my veins. He was a poet too. So he probably expects me to write this, but I'm not going to dedicate it to him. He is no longer worthy of my words. My words are worth more than the dirty turf that holds him up on his feet. I can't deny that he still runs through my mind, but I'm building barricades. Because what's the point of moving on if my feet are still dragging on the ground and the rain doesn't help the journey, because I find myself slipping back into his arms, and when there are clouds I try to make out shapes, but they always seem to be his face, and when the sun finally sets I feel the wind prickle my skin, but I mistake it for his hands. How am I expected to breathe when the air is polluted with the lies he left lying around? I curled up in bed and tried to figure out where it all went wrong. The only mistake I made was handing in my happiness. Now it lies in shattered pieces along my bedroom floor, and I won't try putting it back together, because if I ever feel happy again, it will only remind me of him. I want these memories to fade like Polaroids in the sun as the faces blur into the background, and I convince myself that the darkness will soothe the pain for a while. But there are no heartbreak pills, only restoration bills to fix the cracks he left behind. When will I learn to stop looking for happiness in the place I fucking lost it? For this map of destiny doesn't guide me, it stumbles me up on shores of the same old chores. I lose him, I beg, I lose him, I beg, I let him into my bed. He only loves me when my body is showcased in lace, on display in a museum of his history that only he has admittance to, but I've changed the rules, now touching the artefacts. They're only for view. I've started filling my pens with seeds so that every time I write, the ink blooms into new life. I'm going to write myself a future. I want to be his literary classic so that whoever he finds himself in a relationship with, the pages will never reveal the wonders my chapters hold, yet he shoved me to the back of a dusty bookshelf just to read on a rainy day. Oh, how I wish it would rain every single day. The funny thing is, when him and I first got together, my group of friends said to me, "He's only going to hurt you, you know." So I sewed their lips together because the only thing I wanted to hear was the sound of his heart beating. Now I've lost all of my friends and I haven't had his heartbeat in a while. But the last thing I want to hear is the sound of my own breath, because giving up is a better option than pretending I'm strong enough to see this through, but I won't give up because giving up means he wins. I lose. And don't lecture me on the fact that life isn't a competition, because he wears 11 medals upon his chest, one for each of the girls he has slept with, whilst I am only left with the 11th of February.